Welcome to the Charity Leaders Exchange CEO interview. I'm Eddie Finch, partner in Buzzacott's charity team. I'm here speaking with Karen Addington, CEO of JDRF UK. So Karen, now I'd like to turn to the people and talent in the organisation that you've got around you. I guess the first thing I'm interested in is how do you instill the right sort of types of behaviour, ethics and positivity in the organisation?
We have a code of ethics, and there's I wouldn't say that we employ a certain type of person, but all the people we employ absolutely have to demonstrate ambition, commitment. They have to be willing to go above and beyond. I actually think it's even written into our job descriptions that we're prepared to go the extra mile for the charity. So a commitment to working really hard and giving your best, that is important.
And with that broader group of people, how do you encourage the ethos into that group, the volunteers and the fundraisers, etc.?
So all of our staff will also be encouraged to get out there and work at our events, to meet people, meet families living with a condition. We have one of our flagship events is called One Walk. This is a series of sponsored walks around the country, which happen in September, October each year. And lots of families affected by type 1 diabetes come together and do a sponsored walk for the charity. It's a really emotional place to be because you're surrounded by hundreds, if not thousands of people with the same focused mission as our charity. It's really a moving thing. All of our staff go out and volunteer at a walk. They absolutely get out there, meet the families, talk to the supporters, see the effect of the work that we're doing and bringing them all together is having on them. And I think all of our staff, if you go and walk around the office and ask them, they absolutely understand about the condition and they have empathy for people living with the condition. I think that's essential.
So in some organisations, sometimes you've described a very mission-focused way of doing business, and you described it also as business-like. In some organisations, there's sometimes grumbling about being asked to work in a strategic way, and people feel that it's additional to what they might perceive as their day job. Do you see that as an issue in JDRF?
I really don't. People's job is designed around the strategy and everybody helped build the strategy. So it just doesn't happen, Eddie. People's work, what they're doing is absolutely focused on achieving some part of us delivering that strategic outcome.
When you're looking at you've talked about how the strategy is formed and how you involve everybody in that strategy. As you go along through a strategy, do you expect people to carry on innovating, and if so, how do you encourage a spirit of innovation?
I think that's a really good question because I think it's quite hard to do that. So we determinedly try to encourage our staff to innovate, and we have within the organisation what we call innovations working groups. This came out of the open planning process that I described to you. So if somebody has a really good idea or what they think is a really good idea, all they need to do is to pull together a group of colleagues from anywhere across the organisation that they think would have something to contribute, either to support that idea through, to analyse it and work out that actually no, it's not a very good idea in whatever way. And they're given time within the working day to pull that group together and start to look at new things. Could we do things in a different way? Should we stop doing something? So within JDRF at any one time, there are probably about 10 or 12 innovation working groups looking at completely different topics. And some of those things, they were a great idea, and yes, absolutely we should be doing it. So when that happens, the person leading the group, and it can be somebody from anywhere within the organisation, they need to get a director to support that idea. It may or may not need money to make it happen, in which case if it does, they need to get that signed off too, and then we do it. So it's a really good way of somebody having a bright idea, checking it out, checking that it is worth taking forward, and then having a route to making it happen. We quite often pilot new things, so taking a little bit of well-managed risk, I think, is probably the way to describe it.
Excellent. So that spirit of innovation and giving things a go.
And that they don't
Steep.
all work out. The majority do, because otherwise they would have been weeded out early on in the process. And we try really hard not to consider something that didn't work out as a failure. It's not a failure, it's taught us that particular activity doesn't work, and we've learnt something.